Hello, hello. Hello, guys, and welcome to another one of my little streams. We've been experiencing some hardware issues here, and my microphone wasn't working. Now I think it's a little too loud. Let's dial it back a little. But yeah, we're back up. So let me just recap what I was saying before. Um, I don't really have anything prepared today because I just came back from my girlfriend's this afternoon, and I've been working on a couple of videos for my channel. Uh, First one was editing a video that I already posted a preview of on Patreon, uh, and that is a movie review we did together with a friend of mine. And the second one was a video about Laserdisc. Um, and you may have seen in my Star Wars home video collection series that I finally got a Laserdisc player and some Laserdiscs. And this is a retro tech video that I've always wanted to make. Um, so Uh, yeah, so I've been working on that today, and only now I realized it's already 11 here, and I should start my stream. I see Jakub, the friend I did the video with, is actually here commenting. That's what made me stutter there. I noticed his comment. Um, Okay, I'm glad. I'm glad the audio's working. And yeah, so I thought today maybe I will just prepare prepare a script for Reel 2 of Empire. Uh, so let's switch here and let's see. So we have Reel 1. Let's copy this. And so yeah, I'm not gonna be doing a lot of difficult work today. And so if you have any questions and stuff, fire away so I can answer answer your comments. Okay, so let's rename this first of all. Let's go. Scripts. How many gigabytes will it be to download 3.0? Well, it will depend on the version you're downloading. There will there will definitely be a huge 4K version, which will be something like 50 gigabytes probably, maybe more. And then there will be a 1080p version, which I still want to keep under a single layer Blu-ray size, so that's around 20 gigs for the 1080p version. Um, and then there will probably be like a smaller 1080p version, something around like streaming quality, so something around like 5 gigabytes or something like that. I'm not sure if I'm still gonna do like an AVCHD version, because I think not many people are still actually burning DVDs. Um, and for those who do want to, I'm sure somebody else will make conversions to whatever format is required. So, will the 4K one be UHD Blu-ray size? Yeah, something like that. Like UHD Blu-ray, I think is up to like 100 GB, but usually the films on UHD Blu-ray are around 60 GB or so. So yeah, the 5 GB download. Someone's asking, so the 5 GB download would be in 720p. I don't think so. Probably 1080. Like the compression algorithms nowadays allow for 1080 to be compressed quite nicely to that sort of size. All right, so what I have here is my prepped script for Reel 1, and I'm gonna be adjusting it for Reel 2. So of course, let's have a look at Reel 1 here. And Reel 1 ends here. So this shot is the last shot on Reel 1. While we're at it, let's actually have a look if this was recomposited for the special edition, but it looks like it wasn't. Yeah, everybody seems to be in the same place, and we've got matte lines and some blue spill. So yeah, this shot was not touched for the special editions, it seems. Oh, volume's low? Okay, let's check. Yes, hello. Yeah, maybe I just started talking less loudly. Anyway, will the colors be based on the gouts? I really like those palettes. Not anymore, really. More like the 35mm sources, which for the most part, for Empire are actually pretty close to the gout. And we don't actually, for Empire, we don't have any unfaded 35mm sources, so it's gonna be more of a guessing game, but probably pretty similar to version 2.0 in color. Definitely need official version sometime of these films still. Yeah, that's true. I completely agree. I can't wait. I'll be first in line for a new version. Or rather, the original version, or new release on Blu-ray, or ideally UHD Blu-ray at this point. I'm planning to on burning it to a blank Blu-ray disc. Someone is saying, yeah, that's legitimate. I will definitely be making a single layer Blu-ray sized version, which will probably still be like Blu-ray player compatible. Anyway, Where was I? How's the volume now? By the way, is it okay? What do you think of George Lucas? Somebody's asking. Um, well, I think he's a genius in some ways, but a little overrated in others. Uh, I think George Lucas is a genius idea man. He can come up with really great ideas for movies. Like he came up with the idea for Indiana Jones as well. Um, but it's usually the results are better if he leaves the actual script writing and directing to someone else, like as is the case with The Empire Strikes Back. And partly Return of the Jedi, but he sort of shadow directed that. How do you feel about the 2011 Blu-rays? I find that the 2011 Blu-rays of episodes 1 through 3 look 10 times better than the new 2021 versions. I actually haven't even seen either one really. Like, uh, I saw the Blu-ray version of the Phantom Menace for sure, which is waxy as hell, but still better than the previous HD version we had. Um, and I've never watched the Blu-ray for Attack of the Clones, um, because I have this HD TV version, which is much better. So if I watch it, and that's not very often, I go for that. And episode 3, I may have seen the Blu-ray, but I think it looked great. Uh, and I've not seen any of the 4K new 4K Blu-rays. I thought they were pretty much the same as the 2011 ones, weren't they? What do we get with this new 3.0 version? Much better picture quality overall, because I'm using the 4K Blu-ray as a source, and I'm using some real 4K scans of 35 millimeter prints as a source for the specializing. So it should definitely increase the quality tenfold. Um, have you watched the Gout DVD? Well, I've watched it back when it came out for sure, but not recently. Oh, it sounds okay now. Good, thank you. Would you consider adding a Blu-ray menu? I don't know how. I never figured it out. There are some people who made custom Blu-rays of Despecialized with menus and stuff. So I will try and get in touch with them and maybe get them to do it. But I've never figured out how to make Blu-ray menus. Did you see the version without the Fox fanfares? I have not. At the time, I think it was the same as the 2011 Blu-ray version, unless I'm mistaken, except for the logos. So I really had no reason to rent it or uh, watch it because I had the Blu-rays. So. Go England Euro 2021. That's football, right? Or soccer for our American friends. Um, I don't follow that at all. I actually hate football. Sorry. I actually live right next to a football stadium, so whenever there's a game, it's just mayhem. Um, George Lucas is a very good storyteller. Well, in a way, like he is a very good story inventor, but telling the stories can be a little iffy sometimes. I really think the prequels, at their core, are really good stories, but not told in a very good way. So yeah, I think if he left uh, the directing and at least the final script, like on Star Wars, he actually wrote like I don't know how many drafts and had a lot of input from his friends. But then he became so big that he didn't do that anymore. And at the time of the prequels, uh, and that was to the detriment of the viewers. Do you watch anime? Not really. Um, yeah, no, I can't say I do. I mean, I've seen a couple of anime films, but like Ghost in the Shell. But that's about as deep as my knowledge of anime goes. Um, have you listened to the Atmos mix on the official 4K UHD, and what did you think? Um, I have not actually, or rather, yeah, I haven't watched the new UHD Blu-rays like from beginning to end or anything. I just sort of skimmed through them. Uh, and even if I did, I only have a 5.1 setup in my living room, so I don't think I'd gain much benefit from an Atmos mix. Um, uh, do you have favorite shot you worked on? Um, I get this question a lot, and I really don't. Like, I remember some of the shots that were pretty difficult. Um, and one that came to mind right now, which I don't usually say, is all the lightsabers, because I had to rotoscope them, and they looked really different in the special editions. So uh, those were really difficult shots to do, like labor intensive rather than reinventing the wheel. Um, I remember I was really excited about getting the first 35 millimeter sources. For this was actually for Empire 2.0. I got a couple of scenes, like the Cloud City interiors, the windows, and that kind of stuff. And then I did like uh, I cleaned them by hand, which took ages, but I was so excited about the results. Yeah, those. And now we have 35 millimeter sources for everything, and I'm excited for that. But it's also a lot of work. So uh, yeah. What do you enjoy, hate? I'm assuming it's about working on Star Wars 3.0. Um, well, pretty much the same thing as always. I really enjoy seeing the results and sharing them with you guys as well. Like that's always really fun. What I hate is how long it takes, because back then I was a student and I had a lot of free time, uh, but now I come back from working in front of the computer doing visual effects all day, and it's so hard to like find the time and energy to keep working on Star Wars. um, and yeah, I still really enjoy working on it when I get around to it, but it's not as easy as it used to be. And also, I mentioned this in my last stream, which, by the way, I'm sorry I didn't stream for a couple of weeks now, but I had the first weekend I was visiting my parents, and then the next weekend they came to visit me, so I couldn't really, get away and stream. We had a holiday. We had uh, national holidays here Monday and Tuesday, so they came for the whole 4 days. Um, so yeah, didn't really have a chance to do a stream, but and I think I I changed lanes in the middle of a thought. Um, oh yeah, I in my last stream I was talking about how uh, at work we finally got some really big projects, which they we were supposed to be getting throughout the year, but now they came all at once because of the COVID restrictions being lifted somewhat. Um, so yeah, we've got so much work. I've been working overtime and weekends, and this is why I haven't been posting a lot of videos on YouTube either. Anyway, someone's saying, you know what? It looks like I'm not gonna be doing a lot of work here today. So let's just switch to this and talk to you guys. Heard Disney is recutting the prequels to remove Jar Jar out of the movies. Nah, I think that's a hoax. That I don't think they would do that. Um, what they might do eventually is remake them, and probably remake all the Star Wars films, which I wouldn't be opposed to. Like if we have the originals, uh, so a good remake would be better than if they keep tinkering with the old films. Just give us the old films as they were, and then remake them to your liking anew. Um, all the prequels have 2K masters, so technically it's not worth it in UHD. Uh, yeah, but a lot of films on UHD Blu-ray are actually upscales from 2K. Like, for example, the Hobbit films were all shot on 5K, but they were finished in 2K. So the UHD Blu-rays are just upscales as well. And from what we were able to tell, they claimed that the Lord of the Rings trilogy are new for real 4K scans, but it seems like that's not true. They look very much like upscales of the old master tapes or masters that they created back then with the new grade and a lot of the DNR. Uh, yeah, don't even get me started on the uh, Lord of the Rings UHD Blu-rays. Such a disappointment. Hmm. George Lucas is good at creating, not executing. He creates amazing worlds. I agree with both of those statements. Yeah. Hmm. What else have we got here? Star Wars was saved in edit. Yeah, totally. There's this awesome video on YouTube about this. Okay, someone saying the fact that Lucas wants to correct his films doesn't bother me in itself, but he should have offered all versions on Blu-ray. Yeah, that's what I always say. Like, give me the super special edition, whatever. I'm even gonna if the situation was different and we got the originals on HD and UHD, and with them we got a new uh, special edition version, I would probably watch the special edition version at least once, like out of interest. But this way, I'm just sort of like another, like just give me the original. And I do, I like I said, I didn't even watch the new 4K Blu-rays all the way through. Eddie 81 said that for the Atmos mix, they just duplicated the track. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. Uh, Almost all 4K Blu-rays are in 2K now. Yeah, not even 4K. They are actually in 2K, or are they 2K upscales? Like the new Halloween releases are only 2000p. Literally, that's it. I'm just going to. Well, actually, 2000p if it's cropped. Like, um, then that's 4K because the 1080p is 2K, so 2000p is 4K. Wizard of Oz is a 4K Blu-ray that's truly 2160p. Uh, yeah, I have not heard of a Blu-ray that wasn't 2160p. Uh, but maybe there are some, but I've never heard of one. Uh, they are upscales, a lot of them, but they are still upscaled to 4K usually. 2160p is not 4K. There's a video that explains it. Yes, it is. Well, I mean, nearly. It's as much 4K as 1080p is 2K, which 1080p is 1920 by 1080, and 2K is 2048 by 1080. So the difference is really small. It's basically just a different ratio, and the same applies for 4K, where UHD is it's 3840 by 2160, and 4K is 4096 by 2160. So it's again very close. Like that's 2160p is 4K because it's the horizontal resolution. Yes, horizontal resolution that gives the 4K or 2K number, not the vertical. Someone saying COVID is horrible. Yeah. Well, yeah. Yes, it is. Uh, do you get eye or back strain from the post production work? Admire your dedication and talent. Thank you. And a little bit sometimes, but it's not too bad. But maybe after I've only worked in the industry for like, well, actually like 7 years now. But ask me after 20. Um, 2K is 1440p. No, it's not. 1440p is more than 2K. Uh, I really find your work to be inspiring. What a great thing you have done in my eyes. Thank you very much. uh, No, me and a group of my buddies managed to pull off 4000p on 5 minutes of Revenge of the Sith. That was true 4K. No, it wasn't. That was 8K. Dude, understand it. It's the horizontal resolution that gives the number. 2160p is 4K. 4000p is 8K. If we're talking about widescreen format, of course. How about a special edition of The Rise of Skywalker where Palpatine is replaced with Greedo? That's a funny thought. Yes, I want all the cuts. Yeah, exactly. Give me all the cuts, like Blade Runner. Actually, though, like Blade Runner only came out in the 4K version is only the final cut, but I'm totally fine with that because I think 1080p is already cinema worthy quality. So if we've got a 1080p version of the original, I'm totally happy with that. The Star Wars director's cut would be an amazing release. Um, I suppose the special editions are the Star Wars director's cut. Is it worth it reconstructing the gout as a fun edit? I don't see why. Like, the gout is just the original version, so what would you be reconstructing other than that other fan edits are not doing, or fan restorations, rather? Uh, how many copies of Star Wars do you own? You can go on YouTube and check out my Star Wars on home video series. Uh, I suppose like 30, probably, something like that. Original trilogy with only the changes that don't bother the theatrical purists at all. There are no changes that don't bother the theatrical purists at all. That's sort of the point. That's why they're purists. Or we are. I'm not sure if I would even call myself a purist in that strict sense. Like, if they redid like the optical wipes, I probably would be fine with that. But recompositing original elements is where I draw the line. I don't want that. And they actually did that for the Indiana Jones Blu-rays in some way, or the 4K Blu-rays in some way. It's interesting. I don't know what they did. It still looks like optical compositing, but they made changes to it. It's strange. ET is in its original cut. We never got the 2002 cut with it. It's true. Like, I mean, I prefer it this way. If there's only one cut, I always prefer it to be the original. But I would be happy to see the 2002 version on Blu-ray as well. I actually have it in 720p from some television broadcast. 35 millimeter sources was scanned from a lab. I'm actually not sure. I didn't have them scanned. I just was graciously given them by the Team Negative One guys, um, for which I'm very grateful. Thank you guys if you're watching. Um, and I'm not sure where they scanned it, but it's definitely they are now scanned on professional equipment for sure. I've also noticed a lot of 4K Blu-rays have almost no grain. Why do they do that? Yeah, I don't know. Like I think I worked for a while for this Ultraflix company, um, and I worked for them remastering films for their UHD streaming service, and they always wanted like almost no grain because they felt like the average viewer will think that it's low quality if it's grainy and therefore it's not 4K. And I'm afraid the studios see it the same way, which of course is false, but it's hard to like clearly some people know what they're doing there. Like the Indiana Jones UHD Blu-rays are beautiful. There might be some degrading to a certain degree, but it looks like film the whole time. I was very happy with that. Not so happy with the digital tinkering with some of the effects shots, but uh, I can live with it. Like it's not like major changes like in Star Wars. Uh, could you imagine if we got a 5K scan of Star Wars? There wouldn't be that much difference between 5K and 4K. Actually, like some of the scans I have here are almost 5K because it's the anamorphic film. So when you stretch it out, it's Harmy, pace yourself. Burnout catches up with everyone. Not worth losing your health, mate. Uh, thank you. I'm well, as you can see from the time it's taking to finish the new versions. I am pacing myself. I should probably actually increase the pace, but it's not that easy. Um, the 2002 cut of ET had my favorite scene, the bathtub scene. I it's been so long since I've seen that version. Since I saw that version, I don't even remember that scene. But yeah, that's the thing. Like there were some pretty bad changes in it, but it was like an extended cut, right? So it, even just for that, it would be worth releasing on Blu-ray. I feel like the 1997 special edition is the most forgotten release. Uh, in a way, for sure, yeah, because it's the only one that didn't actually get a DVD release at all. Like even the original version, even though it was a really bad one, the Gout, even the original version got a DVD release, but the 1997, the highest official release, the highest quality official release is still Laserdisc. To clarify, Star Wars director's cut with the missing footage not in theatrical release. Yeah, I would be interested in seeing that. Like, it's probably not gonna be a better movie, but it would definitely be an interesting alternate version. No one talking about the 1997 special edition when talking about the special edition. It's true, yeah. Because that is the special edition, and that's true too. Like we now call them all like special editions, but that was the only one that actually had that title since 2004. Since the 2004 DVDs, it was just the films, and they didn't even mention they were changed in any way. But everyone refers to the 97 VHS tapes when it comes to talking special editions. Um, yeah, but they did come out on Laserdisc. I liked the 2002 cut of the film, saw it in theaters, but I loved it on DVD. We got the live action music track. I'm assuming you're talking about ET there. Uh, there's three special editions for Empire and Jedi, and four special editions for A New Hope. Um, I'm assuming you mean the first one was when they added the A New Hope logo. Yeah, and that's in a way true. But that's a change I could have lived with. But yeah, light turned on. I don't know. Ariscan is an amazing digital scanner. Uh, yeah, I'm not sure. Holy shit! I just saw myself because there's a delay uh, on the stream, so I just saw myself making those faces look when looking at the light. I should probably end this stream now. Did they print 70 millimeter film of Star Wars? They did, yes. But as far as I know, none were found by the community yet. And even if they were, 70 millimeter prints were slightly cropped aspect ratio. And they were, I think, printed on Eastman, so they would probably be faded at this point. Team Negative One use a homemade scanner. Um, Not anymore. They did way back when, but now they use a uh, proper professional scanner, as far as I know. I'm waiting for 4K 80. So are we all. I'm really looking forward to it. From what I've seen of it, it's gonna look amazing. What's yeah, I don't get that comment. Notice what? Ah, okay, sorry, I get it. Uh, you were just correcting yourself. See, with the 2011 Blu-rays, they evened out the grain. They made it look real. Like you can notice the pores on the characters. I don't know if you're talking about the like, sure in a way, but there's on the prequels, or at least on the Phantom Menace, the degraining is definitely way too much. and on the original trilogy, there was also a little bit too much degraining applied, I think, uh, or rather, it created artifacts. Uh, it was still way less degrained than the 2021 versions or 2020. I'm not sure when they came out anymore. Is it? Oh, they actually on Disney Plus. They actually came out in 2019 already, didn't they? Did you hear about Richard Donner? Did I hear what about Richard Donner? Do you mean his version of Superman, or rather Superman 2? I've heard of that. Uh, I was wondering, any chance of an update of A New Hope respecialized with the 35 millimeter 4K 97 recently out? Oh, I didn't even know that was already out. That's awesome. Uh, but I think that's enough of a preservation of the 97 version, and also basically anyone can just take that and cut it together with the UHD Blu-ray for the few changes that are different. Um, there will be a 4K 99 just to put the Yoda puppet back. um, I don't. I know that that is being worked on in some manner, but it's not just to put the Yoda puppet back, right? It's to get a proper like 35 millimeter looking uh, restoration. But yeah, I'm wondering. Like I saw some screenshots of a 35 millimeter scan of um, the Phantom Menace, and the detail level was way worse than the official Blu-ray. So I think just regrading the official Blu-ray would probably yield better results. But again, it would be a pretty cool experience to see it in 35 millimeter, like I saw it when I was a kid. There are three different versions of Superman the movie. I didn't know that. I knew that there was two different versions of Superman 2, but I never knew there were multiple versions of the first one. Uh, what do you think about episode 7 through 9? In my book, as a Star Wars fan, they don't exist. I really don't like how they treated Luke, Han, and Leia. Um, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go as far as to say they don't exist for me, but I just don't. Well, they don't really exist as canon in my head when I'm watching the original trilogy. Like, I don't. I'm not thinking about Luke's great here, but he's gonna end up like that. I don't watch films in that way, really. Like, I always give the example of Jurassic Park. Like I love the first Jurassic Park movie. I like the second one, and I thought the third one was just terrible. So when I watch Jurassic Park, I just watch the first two and don't think about the third one. Where it becomes problematic for me is when they start shoving stuff from the films I don't like into the films that I do like, and that that's what they did with the Star Wars movies with the original trilogy. So when they start, shoving Kylo Ren or whatever into the original trilogy, that's where it's gonna become a problem. Until then, I don't really care. There were more changes to the. Oh, that's true. That's very true. There were more changes to the Phantom Menace than just Yoda because there were added pod race Lab 2 footage in the DVD. Yeah, the since the DVD version, the pod race has been extended, and I think there were some other minor cuts made. Uh, so yeah, we definitely could use a higher quality scan for those bits that are missing because of the re-edit. But I think the way to go with the Phantom Menace is to despecialize it using uh, available sources like 35 millimeter scan, or for the Puppet Yoda, maybe the HD TV versions, which still had that version of Yoda. Did you see the 3D version of Jurassic Park? Yeah, I actually have the 3D Blu-ray, but I wasn't too impressed with that. I don't know, something about the movie. It just wasn't shot for 3D. Like the Titanic 3D conversion is just amazing. It's probably the best 3D film I've ever seen. Better 3D than Avatar, but it just kind of feels like Cameron was always had 3D in mind when he was shooting that film, but Spielberg did not when he was shooting Jurassic Park. So I don't know, somehow it didn't. And I expected it to be really great. Dinosaurs in 3D sounds like an amazing idea, but didn't think it was that great. Someone saying Disney rushed the films and the stories suffered. I agree. Like they should have taken their time and prepared the stories and have them thought out for all three films. Like I even though it was a ripoff of Star Wars, I liked The Force Awakens, but then they just sort of didn't know where to go with it. So how did you start working in post production? Are the programs hard to master? Um, well, the way I started working in post production was actually by doing the Despecialized Star Wars project, and it got noticed. So someone offered me a job doing remastering remastering job for a streaming service. And then when that sort of fell apart, I applied for a job in UPP, which is, or rather, they opened a VFX academy, which was also sort of like a rotoscoping department. So I went for that. They didn't pay a lot, but they paid a little, so I was able to live off of that money for a while, and I learned for about half a year and did some roto work, and then I got promoted to compositor, and that's what I'm still doing. Although now I'm actually also the head of the roto department in which I started originally. Um, and are the programs hard to master? Well, it depends. Like if you have the affinity for it, they're not that hard. But like for example, I do 2D compositing, and I guess that's much easier than 3D. But yeah, that's it's hard to say whether it's hard or not. It wasn't that hard for me, but it could be very hard for someone else. And I can't say it was very easy for me either, but it's just learning. Well, anyway, guys, I've been going on for an hour again, so it's time to say goodbye, and hopefully, I will be able to release some new videos soon if I get around to it, and also hopefully next week I will already be again working on some shots that I can show you that will be interesting to see. Uh, I sort of also like that's why I wanted to start Reel 2 because there are still some shots on Reel 1 that I need to finish, but most of them are already started and they are the same type of shots that I already showed you. So hopefully in Reel 2 we will be able to cover something a little different. Well, anyway, thanks for watching and may the Schwartz be with you.